Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to go over the 10 hidden gems to visit in Philadelphia. Stay tuned. If you've been been watching my videos for a while, I've been talking about the different neighborhoods. What are the best neighborhoods? What are some of the neighborhoods that could use some opportunity? I don't want to say that they're the worst neighborhoods, but you know, they do need a little help. They do need more opportunity. And I've also highlighted some different neighborhoods that we did map videos, and as well as some videos that you can drive through. So in today's video, I wanted to show some hidden gems, like just if you're interested in visiting Philadelphia, or you're moving to Philadelphia and you just wanted to know what else is out there other than seeing the Liberty Bell, seeing the Art Museum, seeing the different rivers, seeing the Delaware River, go to Penn's Landing, and possibly go to Geno's and Pat's in South Philly to get yourself a famous cheesesteak, or at least what they market it at. But anyway, I wanted to provide some other hidden gems that are in the city that you and your family may be interested in going to see. So and I have 10 on my list. There's much more. I'll do a part 2 to this video, but for today, I'm going to do 10. So starting at and this is in no type of ranking at all, for one. I'm just going to go 1 through 10. So for number 1, I have the Independence Seaport Museum. Now, this is located in Penn's Landing. It is a museum that is right along the river at Penn's Landing, and it was founded in 1961. And this particular, I didn't know this was a part of a museum, actually. We have all, like, throughout Philadelphia, you see the different ships along Columbus Boulevard, Delaware Avenue / Delaware Avenue, all throughout. But anyway, there is, when you come off of, I guess, like 676, it's right there by like the 95 corridor. Well, you may actually be able to see it from, it's right there by pretty much close to like the Ben Franklin bridge. So that is like, you'll see some really famous wartime ships that were a part of the wars, and but this museum was actually founded in 1961, and it has collections for maritime history and culture along the Delaware River. And it has 2 national landmark ships, which is the USS Olympia, which is a cruiser, and the USS Bacuna, which is a submarine. So you'll see the USS Olympia is right there. You see it when you pretty much see it. And then the submarine is, I'm assuming that it's underwater. So, because it's a submarine. I've never been there, but I will probably take my family when COVID is kind of lifted up. On to number 2 is the Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University. And this museum is located in Logan Square. It is a part of Drexel University. It is the oldest natural science research and museum in the Americas, which is a pretty fun fact to know. It was founded in 1812, and I personally visit there was it once or twice? I went on a field trip with my oldest, and that was pretty fun. It was pretty interesting. We got to see, they have many different exhibits all throughout. And they did have like a theater that did showcase different animals and or at least like other stuff. I mean, I was a chaperone, so I mean, I learned a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's like as a chaperone for kids in third grade, well, it was second grade at the time for my kids' second grade trip, you're more busy trying to make sure nobody didn't get lost, making sure that they were quiet and whatnot. But number one priority is not to lose a kid. So, but anyway, I've been there for my oldest son's field trip. It was pretty interesting. They do have many different exhibits throughout. This is also pretty close to the Franklin Institute. And it's just as fun, it's just as fun. It may not be as popular as the Franklin Institute is, but it is pretty fun, and it's a pretty cool place to go if you're into natural sciences and whatnot. Number 3 is the Mutter Museum at the College of Physicians of Philadelphia. It is located in Center City, and it contains a collection of anatomical and pathological specimens, wax models, and antique medical equipment. So, okay, I've never been there. I've never heard of it. But, we are full of history. So, I guess that this is there. So, but it is located in Center City. Number 4 is One Liberty Observation Deck. Okay, so AKA Philly from the top. It is a 883 foot high observation deck, and it's located on the 57th floor of One Liberty Place in Center City. So if you know the Philadelphia skyline, we have several buildings, a lot of skyscrapers, and it is actually like One Liberty Place is actually the one with the point. That's the one with the needle at the top, and I've been in that building at One Liberty Place. There also is a mall and a shopping area at One Liberty Place, but there's also offices, and I think there's residences possibly in the building. But anyway, One Liberty Place has a lot of offices. So, and you can get to the observation deck on the 57th floor of the building. And I've never been up there. I've been in the building before, but I've never witnessed Philly from the top. So 5 is the African American Museum of Philadelphia. It is located it's actually located on North 7th Street in Arch, but I guess the address is really on Arch Street, and it's in Center City. Well, I think it's more so on the border of Center City and Chinatown, because if you're on Arch, when you're at the African American Museum, it's right there it's on the corner. It's pretty much not too far from Old City. I wouldn't really say it's Center City, but it is kind of a part of that whole area, because you can kind of get, like, there's Chinatown to the left, and you can see it's actually like probably about a few blocks away, where there's other historical museums and areas that you can go to. So it's kind of right there along, almost towards the outskirts of it, but not necessarily in the center of it all. But anyway, it is the first museum that was funded and built by a municipality. I don't know what municipality is. I'm assuming it's Philadelphia, to help preserve, interpret, and exhibit the heritage of African Americans. And it was opened during the 1976 bicentennial celebrations. I've been to the African American Museum. I actually was there for an event for real estate, and it's not that bad. It's pretty, the exhibits are pretty, well, I was there for an event, but they did have a lot of monuments and a lot of exhibits and art. It really showcased a lot of art, per se at the museum. People go there to have discussions and meetings, and events as well at the museum. But what I did venture off to kind of look at what this museum has to offer, and it more so showcase, and this is my opinion, it more so showcase arts and different artifacts throughout the times. But I mean, it's like, and I guess in a way I'm kind of comparing it to the African American Museum that is in Washington DC that was built like a few years ago, which obviously has a lot more than this one does. But I think that, but I've been there, I've been to both, and for this one, I did see this property. I did see the exhibits, and it's pretty nice. It's not that it's, if you're looking just for history and to see more different on art, this is where you can go if you're interested in learning more about African American culture and history. Okay, and number 6 is the Morris Arboretum of the University of Pennsylvania. And this is the official arboretum of the Commonwealth, and it's located at 100 East West Northwestern Avenue in Chestnut Hill. And I've been to this arboretum. Arboretum is not too far. It's in Chestnut Hill, and in parts of Mount Airy, I believe. But it's pretty nice. It's nice to be able to see some things. I see it from the road, so I've been to it. But I mean, I know they have a lot of camps and a lot of other activities for children and teens and youth and enthusiasts of, I guess, landscaping and arboretums and plants. I think there's actually different spots throughout the city, because I think the Morris Arboretum the one that I went to was off of True Avenue, and that's in Mount Airy. It's not necessarily in Chestnut Hill, but I mean, I went there for a camp for my son, and they have many events. You can have weddings, you can have celebrations and whatnot. There's camps for kids and teens and youth. And there's also, of course, there is like nonprofits that look towards preserving and enhancing the natural beauty of the Philadelphia area, or at least for the Arboretum. So I don't have any more than that, but if you're interested, there is the Arboretum. And number 7 is the Penn Museum, and aka the Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology at the University of Pennsylvania. And it is located at University City. It's not too far from the main campus. I think it's actually more so closer to University of Penn Hospital, right there on, I almost want to say it's South Street. I think it is South Street, but it turns into South Street. But I think it's right there. I've never been to it, but I know that it's a big. I know it's a museum that's there. I seen signs when I'm driving by, but I never really been to that. It seems like it may be an art institution, but don't quote me on that. I don't know too much information on it, but it is all about archaeology and anthropology. Number 8 is Boathouse Row. It's not necessarily a hidden gem because you see it when you're driving along I-76 along the Schuylkill River between Route 1 and 95 and 676. It's right there. Boathouse Row is actually on the other side. It's actually along Kelly Drive, but you can really see, if you're looking at the what the entrance to the boathouses is on Kelly Drive, but if you wanted to see the boathouses, the back of the boathouses, or at least where the shells and the boats come out, is along, you see that from I-76, and, or I should say Martin Luther King Drive, because that runs adjacent along 76. It's just not a major roadway. It is a major roadway, but it's not as busy, I should say, as I-76. And but what I always like is that they always light up at night. The buildings, they light up, and then especially at Christmas time is really pretty because because it's festive. They have all the Christmas decorations out, and you see the lights. You always see the lights along Boathouse Row, because that's what makes Boathouse Row special. We also, Boathouse Row is also has the regatta races in the spring, and then you see different crew teams go and swim through the Schuylkill River. So anyway, some facts about Boathouse Row is it's a historical site on Kelly Drive on the east bank of the Schuylkill River. It consists of 15 boathouses, housing social and rowing clubs, and their racing shells. And the houses are at least a century old, which I did not know about, and some of them were built over 150 years ago. So these houses are pretty old, but it's historic. Hey, but we do have, but I know the different schools, like the different universities, they have their own boathouses, and I should say major universities, as well as some high schools have their own. I think the high schools do, but there is some that are public. And I've never been inside the boathouses. I always know it from the outside, and I know when they're having the regatta races because they close off Kelly Drive. And number 9 is, and this is the last one I have. I know I said 10. Let me change that. Okay. Number 9 is Fragments of Franklin Court. And Franklin Court is a complex of museums, structures, and historic sites within the Independence Historical Park. It is located in Old City, and it starts from Ben Franklin's house, where he lived at from 1763 to 1790. I never toured this stuff, to be real. I haven't really seen the fragments of Franklin Court, but I know that on some streets they have tourist sites on Arch Street. I had one of my previous brokerage that I was at, they were on Arch Street, and up the street they had people gather at the Betsy Ross house, and and they would segue down the street. So it's a hidden gem if you're a history buff and you're into knowing Ben Franklin's history and going to see the different stuff. I know they have the printing press, which is it's possibly on Market Street, because just to explain a little bit more about Old City, pretty much how you know you're in Old City is when you cross the Independence Mall and you hit the cobblestones. The road turns into cobblestones, and it just kind of signifies, and or at least bring the essence that you are in Old City. So there's a lot of history there, as well as the neighboring neighborhood of Society Hill, which is like right next to it on, I guess you can say, on the south side. And it's like literally blocks away. So I think that the post office is probably the first post office, I think, in U.S. history that was there. I know that they're like Ben Franklin's house wasn't too far away, but I'm not too familiar with the Franklin Court. I never visited it, so I'm sorry, I really don't know. So there you go. But anyway, that ends my video for today, about about the top 9 hidden, well, not top 9, but it is the 9 hidden gems to visit in Philadelphia. And stay tuned for part 2, and please hit the subscribe button below. And if you're interested in knowing more about Philadelphia real estate, you want to learn more about about living in Philadelphia, please subscribe to this channel. And as well as, you can click the notification bell if you're interested, or if you want to know when I post a new video. I post new videos every week, and I look forward to bringing out more information. And if you are interested in just wanting to, if you have a video idea that I can do, please let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to definitely take a look at it and, bring that to you guys if you're interested. You can feel free to interact with me, and that's basically it. So until the next video, I'll see you then.